His first two camper builds were total write-offs. Leaking in storms, warped frames, they almost crushed his truck. The whole internet doubted him. Everyone was just waiting for him to fail a third time. No pro blueprints, no construction crew, just basic materials from the hardware store. He sanded and polished day and night, building every structure right up to the truck's weight limit. From a pile of random planks to a livable off-road mobile home, he did it all by hand. He shattered every insult and doubt. This wasn't just a mod. It was a regular guy using his hands to achieve the dream of total freedom in the wild. Nobody would have guessed that those first two total failures hid 3 fatal design flaws. Each one a massive no-go in professional RV conversion. During Andrew's first attempt, he ignored the Pickup's 1980 lb payload limit, using massive 20-centimeter solid wood beams for the base. A single floor plank weighed 15 kilos. It crushed the rear leaf springs to their absolute limit, causing uneven tire wear and making the truck drift at high speeds. It added 3 full meters to his stopping distance, nearly causing a highway disaster. For his second try, Andrew went cheap with basic exterior paint, having zero clue about the penetration requirements for waterproof coatings. Creating tiny 0.01 millimeter gaps that sucked in water like a straw, rainwater seeped inside during storms, the wooden skeleton soaked it up, swelled, and cracked. The roof sagged 15 centimeters, crushing half his gear, but the real killer? Andrew never did any structural mechanics calculations. Water pooled on that flat roof at 3 liters per hour. The uneven load finally snapped the frame in the middle of a storm. The internet's hate was colder than the rain. Comments were flooded with "amateurs should stop messing around" and "waste of money and dangerous." A pro RV builder even said, "Modding a pickup without precision math and pro skills is just gambling with your life."
Oh yeah.
But Andrew didn't back down. He tore the scrapped wood into splinters, took photos of the collapsed frame, and stayed up all night writing 7 pages of lessons learned notes, noting every failure and how to fix it. This time, Andrew didn't just want livable, he wanted a rebirth that could handle the worst of the wild. Building a truck camper isn't like playing with Legos. Forget one of the 3 major industry hurdles, and you're toast. Using the most basic tools, Andrew broke through the pro-level barriers. Hurdle number 1, millimeter perfect weight matching. 1,980 pounds is the safety red line. 1 pound over could blow the suspension. 1 pound under could sacrifice strength. Andrew weighed every single piece. A 2x10 pine beam weighs 2.3 kilos. Half-inch plywood is 6.8 kilos per square meter. He even counted the weight of a single stainless steel screw. He kept the joist spacing at exactly 30 centimeters, with less than a 1 millimeter margin of error. It was like giving the truck a skeletal brace. Every inch fit perfectly. Any more would be too heavy, any less would be shaky. Hurdle number 2, all-weather waterproofing. Wood, metal, and composite boards all expand and contract at totally different rates. Pine moves 0.008 centimeters per meter, but aluminum alloy hits 0.0 to 3. Standard sealant just snaps under that kind of stress. Andrew needed a seal that could breathe with the materials. No cracks, no leaks, able to handle scorching sun and freezing frost. Hurdle number 3, maximizing 6 cubic meters. The truck bed is 1.5 meters long, 1.2 wide, and 3.3 high. That's only 5.9 for cubic meters of usable space. But it had to fit sleeping, a kitchen or bath, storage, and power or water systems. It's like building a full house inside a matchbox. Every inch had to be squeezed. Even the gaps under the bed became storage bins. These are the problems pro teams test for months. Andrew only had a circular saw, wood glue, and some hardware, but he was determined to turn impossible into reality. Step 1. A frame strip foundation. The spine of the whole rig had to be rock solid. Andrew ditched the solid wood slabs entirely, choosing 2x10 pine beams for the joists, cutting them precisely to the bed's dimensions. With a length error of less than 0.5 millimeters, he laid half-inch load-bearing plywood on top. Once the foundation was set, Andrew didn't rush to lay the boards. Instead, he coated every wooden part with a penetrating sealer. It soaks 0.5 millimeters deep into the wood fibers, creating an invisible hydrophobic barrier, stopping mold and warping at the source. Applying 5 full coats, just to give the camper its first suit of waterproof armor. Andrew cut the panels by hand, contouring them to the truck bed's curves with less than a 2 millimeter gap. With the base solid ... It was time for the lightweight grid wall frame. The walls are the main load bearers, handling the roof weight and side impacts. Andrew used 2x3 pine for studs and 2x4 seconds for headers, building a 15x15 centimeter grid shear wall. This seismic-style structure spreads impact across the whole frame ... So even on the roughest trails, the walls won't snap. He used 8mm composite plywood for the exterior. RVB grade stuff 30 lighter than solid wood, but 50% stronger, perfect for the weight limit. Next up, the arched truss roof, the key to waterproofing and stability. No more flat roof collapses. Andrew built the truss with a 3.5 centimeter natural slope, with 2x2 studs spaced every 20 centimeters. To ensure an even load. He used 1/4-inch OSB for the roof deck, made from cross-oriented wood strands. It's 1.5 times stronger than regular plywood. 10 grown men could stand on it and it wouldn't budge. Andrew personally stood on the roof to test it, and at nearly 130 pounds, the roof didn't warp or shake even a tiny bit. For the seams, Andrew used Pella Smart Flash Tape. It self-adheres with heat, creating a seamless seal, killing off those tiny leak paths. Then, Andrew applied an elastomeric rubber roof coating. 3 coats, 2 hours apart, with a 300% elongation rate. It stretches and shrinks with the boards, so it won't crack like regular paint. On the floor, Andrew applied a double-layer anti-mold sealant, so even if water pools on the ground, it won't seep into the truck. After waterproofing came the custom RV window mod. Andrew sent back the basic acrylic windows and swapped them for contoured RV privacy windows, which fit the truck's curves perfectly, with built-in shades to balance light and privacy. When installing, he used an interference fit technique, making sure the windows were snug in the frames. Once the 3 big windows were in, the cramped truck bed instantly felt open. Sunlight flooded in through the glass, the sense of space literally doubled. Then came the power and water systems, the heart of his mobile home. Andrew installed a DC to DC charger, which automatically charges the camper's battery while the engine is running. With triple protection against overvoltage, overheating, and shorts, it's like having a security guard for his electrical system. For wiring, he used 16-gauge speaker wire, sized perfectly for the load of the lights, pumps, and heaters. Andrew also added a multi-channel independent fuse box with a separate fuse for every circuit. He hid all the lines inside the wall frames, using a conduit wiring method to prevent wear and short circuits. To make it livable, Andrew handled the insulation work. First, he sealed every gap to block drafts, then he packed in natural wool insulation. This stuff balances humidity and cuts down on condensation, trapping heat in the winter and blocking sun in the summer. It even blocks out road noise, turning the camper into a mobile climate-controlled cabin. Andrew added a vapor barrier inside the roof to prevent warm, moist air from condensing, keeping the frame from molding and the circuits from getting damp. This is a pro-level RV technique, and Andrew recreated it by hand, hitting industry standards. With the interior finish, Andrew breathed life into the cold skeleton. He used pre-finished tongue and groove wall panels. The natural texture and light-colored finish make the space feel huge. No need for a second coat, saving time and the environment. Andrew built a wall-mounted sofa storage combo with massive storage bins under the seats for all his camping gear and essentials, multitasking to squeeze every bit of value out of the space. The sofa dimensions are ergonomically designed, with a 60-centimeter backrest and 10-centimeter cushions, comfortable for sitting and plenty of room to stretch out.
Wow, that's perfect. Whew, that's gonna look sick.
The ceiling used flexible arched wood planks, following the roof's curve with no sharp edges, making it look softer and much safer. He recessed LED spotlights into the ceiling, giving off a soft, glare-free light with zero dark corners. Perfect for whatever he needs to do at night.
All right. Ooh.
The kitchen and bath are the soul of any camper. And Andrew used elite craftsmanship to create a full life in the wild. In the kitchen, he installed a Wick Pro RV gas stove, paired with an all-in-one stainless steel sink.
Oh yeah, look at that.
He laid down vinyl flooring, waterproof, durable, and easy to clean, finishing the edges with metal corner trim to reinforce high wear spots and give it a premium feel.
This is looking so good. Get this piece marked on there. That looks so much better.
Andrew used magnetic cabinet doors. They won't fly open while driving, keeping his stuff safe. And organized the storage bins, so the dishes, cookware, and food all have their place. Perfectly in order.
Out. Sweet.
And coated the countertop with epoxy resin, with a 9 hours hardness, waterproof, and scratch resistant. Smooth as glass, so oil wipes right off. For the water, he installed a mini DC water pump to provide running water, and used a gravity drain design, so gray water flows straight into an external bucket. Simple, practical, and perfect for the wild.
For this. Sweet. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Cool, man. There we go. We have propane, guys. So cool.
Finally, the heating and safety systems, securing his safety for long-term stays. For heat, Andrew chose a diesel heater, running it right off the truck's diesel fuel, so no extra tank needed. and it warms the place up like spring in minutes.
Now,
From a collapsed skeleton to a complete home. The difference between the three builds is night and day. Attempts 1 and 2, 0 structural math, 0 pro waterproofing, and 0 safe wiring. This time, Andrew built a framed foundation, an arched truss roof, double-layer waterproofing, professional wiring, insulation, and safe heating, following industry standards every step of the way and testing everything. He kept the total weight precisely under the 1980 lb red line. He turned every failure into fuel for growth, every mistake into a lesson on how to improve. Building a pro-level mobile home with basic materials and using his own hands to win the freedom of the wild. Andrew proved with his actions that true passion doesn't care about the starting point, but only about whether you give it your all. This is the power of making, the power of passion, and the brightest light of the common man. One day, this camper will carry Andrew into the wild to the mountains, the lakes, and the seas to every distant place filled with freedom and scenery.